having to turn your eyes aside to avoid seeing looks, having to change pavement. We all understand these reflexes which we use to protect ourselves, but do you really know what we're feeling? I want to tell you about our anger today, the anger of women who no longer want to suffer violence in streets, in the home, in public, or in their personal lives, including here in the European Parliament. Sexist statements, hands that wander, and being quiet about it because you are afraid to lose your job, to be considered as just an object, to be forced to do things, to be raped, sometimes by someone who is not known to us, sometimes by a husband or a father, to experience violence in your own flesh, to feel dirty, to feel humiliated, and still to say nothing because you are afraid to be believed, to be ashamed, to feel guilty. A double sentence. And as women, we are criticized and insulted more and more often, and then there is the first blow, isolation, to feel smothered, to be frozen by fear, not to be able to flee, to feel that death is approaching, to feel more and more blows until death arrives. And the media call it a crime of passion, when one's life has been extinguished because one is a woman. 86 people have been killed in France by their partners since January. There are more across Europe, our mothers, our sisters, our friends. I would like to hear loud and clear in this house, I would like to say that if you deny our anger, you are pushing us to act. We must save lives through action. These are the names: Anne-Sophie, Laetitia, Valerie, who was 48 years old, Janine, who was 89 years old, Valérie, Dina, Pascaline, 60 years old, Melanie, 35 years old, Jacqueline, 23 years old, Georgette, 88 years old, Brigitte, 67 years old, Thérèse, 80 years old, Véronique, 50 years old, Aïssatou Gwenaël, 34 years old, Marie-Emily, 53 years old, Amélie, Claudette, Virginie, 41 years old, Sylvie, 50 years old, Magdalena, 33 years old, Florence, 50 years old, Jennifer, 35 years old, Sylvie, 45 years old, Marguerite, 90 years old, Salma, 21 years old, Grace, 21 years old, Séverine, 31 years old, Lisanne, Olivia, Sabrina, 21 years old, Anne, 83 years old, Célène, 55 years old, Marcel, 84 years old, Brigitte, 68 years old, Fatia, 52 years old, Karina, Dialine, Bettina, 54 years old, Barbara, 47 years old, Miriam, 37 years old, Emmanuel, 41 years old, Madalena, 40 years old, Linda, 37 years old, Tiffany, 23 years old, Monica, 51 years old, Geneviève, 42 years old, Joël, 50 years old, Simone, 77 years old, Deborah, Virginia, 45 years old, Céline, 38 years old, Laure, 52 years old, Anan, 37 years old, Manon, 19 years old, Lola, 29 years old, Korotun, 30 years old, Natasha, 43 years old, Sevina, 51 years old, Brigitte, 59 years old, Aurore, 49 years old. Khadija, 48 years old. Alexandra, 30 years old. Stephanie, 43 years old. Aurélie, 43 years old. Francile, 29 years old. Christine, 58 years old. Karine, 51 years old. Anonymous. Valérie, Melissa, anonymous. Maëlys, anonymous. Sonia, 47 years old. Camille, anonymous. Sandy, 32 years old. France, 56 years old. Lucette, 78 years old. Thank you.
Thank you. I know that you have exceeded your speaking time, but I wanted to grant you this extra few minutes because I do sympathize with the gravity of the situation and what we're discussing. Now, in order to conclude this discussion, I'll pass the floor to Helena Dalli.
President and